Good morning USA and welcome to Viet Cong Gamers. Don't tell Boeing you were here, but this is our playthrough of Whistleblower, specifically Outlast Whistleblower, which was released shortly after the 2013 release of the Outlast game. Today I'd like to invite you to come with us on our journey through Outlast Whistleblower, featuring one run each for collectibles and then the infamous Insane Run. One life, one mission, escape Mount Massive Asylum on the hardest difficulty. And don't forget to like the video, comment your experience with Whistleblower, and subscribe for more. Whistleblower's Insane Run takes 50 minutes at a minimum, so you need to stay sharp, and luckily Holy sent us a few examples of their delicious energy drinks to get us through it. My brother's always been a bit of an energy drink goblin, whereas I've been put off by how unhealthy they all seem. Thankfully, Holy is a new, genuine alternative that we both really enjoy. They sent us 3 boxes, and we've already worked our way through almost 2 of them, with flavours like pink grapefruit, raspberry raptor, and apple and green tea. My favourite is pear. All of them are delicious. I recommend grabbing one of the starter sets, so you get a shaker with it, Smooth Dibs the shark, whereas I got this cool little bloke on a bike. And if you don't want to commit to the deluxe starter package, I'd recommend either going for hydration or energy boxes. You can follow the instructions on the side like Smooth, or make it like I make it, with less water and more ice, which I think gives it a more intense flavour. With Holy, you can either buy flavours by the tub or buy boxes containing sachets of multiple different flavours, which I personally prefer, as I like to mix it up every day and try different things. All the packaging is recyclable, and the shakers are adorable and reusable. All Holy drinks are below 20 calories per serving, so I drink mine before I go for a run. There are no weird crashes or like buzzy face either. Again, I highly recommend grabbing a starter kit, since they also qualify for free UK shipping. Use the code I'm so done with Holy5, ISDW Holy5, for £5 off any first purchase valued at $14.99 or more, which is ideal for a starter kit, or just ISDW Holy for 10% off any purchase. Check out the link in the description or visit uk.weareholy.com/I'm so done with gaming, ISDW gaming for more. Whistleblower's biggest detractor is that it is a cutscene simulator. Outlast has all the action, whereas Whistleblower, ironically, is a whistle-stop tour of the belly of Mount Massive Asylum, featuring all the expositional cutscenes that seem to have been left out of the main game. While geographically it is a much shorter run, Whistleblower is hampered by its extra unskippable bullshit, meaning a playthrough will end up longer than an Outlast run under various conditions. Here we meet Waylon, the casual Friday IT guy down in Mount Massive Asylum, here to reset passwords and turn the computer off and on again. Waylon is our Whistleblower, some dork who got put on a pip for playing StarCraft at work and has consequently taken it upon himself to void his NDA and start journaling about his time here. That'll show those guys. Dragged away from his reams of Undertale fanfiction for some silly little job, Waylon returns to his laptop to find he's been rumbled. Jeremy's seen the search history, and he's not very happy that Waylon changed his desktop background to the goatsy image. Plenty more where that came from, big boy. Accompanied by 3 security guards who all seem fresh from the same litter, Waylon is subdued and taken to the League of Legends conversion therapy room to learn how to be a person again. Waylon's careful reintegration into society is unfortunately thwarted by nanobots, more specifically the clump of nanobots we've come to know as the Wall Rider.
The game. Not yet though. Not yet. I have to wait for the Wall Rider to kill everyone else.
From here, the game is a straight shot. As an Outlast protagonist, Waylon can't resist a little play with the camcorder, which he whips out and storms from the conversion room with. The place is in chaos. Variants and employees alike fall about the place like marbles, and we cut through the centre with the keen precision of someone who's played this game before. Naturally, the first thing I did was die. Okay. From here begins the journey I would equate most closely with the London dungeons in terms of sheer spectacle. Room upon room of dudes at desks sprawled with macabre displays, giving a little speech and a little demonstration that we must watch in its entirety before we are allowed to proceed. Since Traeger's section in Outlast was so popular, Whistleblower presents us 3 sections, each helmed by Outlast horror legends. First up is the cannibal, who we find trying to relieve his companion of a pressure headache, albeit a little medically uninformed. It's a shame about the cannibal. He is my favourite villain of this DLC, but front-loading him means that A, you have plenty of time to forget him, and B, they don't want to blow their load with the cool scenes yet, so he mainly just stumbles around plastic-wrapped rooms and screams at you.
No! No! You were mine!
Pretending we've not noticed him, we hurry on through the pitch-black rooms of Mount Massive. He ambushes us for real in the next room, a concern we take in stride and hurry past like we're trying to avoid a Greenpeace representative on the high street.
Oh my god. Open door. Closed door. Oh my god. Climb. Climb, Waylon. Go.
Guy we saw from earlier, but he just didn't seem that interested. Our rush to freedom carries us through the morgue, how symbolic, and Waylon runs face first into the world's most naked man.
Isn't it?
The cannibal has clearly learned a thing or two from eating the people he's microwaved like Rustler burgers. Absolutely revolting food, by the way. I'd rather eat an airplane meal. The cannibal whacks us into man's most efficient oven, the cremator oven. Thankfully, he didn't think to preheat it. As he's digging the instructions back out of the bin, we barge out of the back of the oven, chipping away at the dislodged bricks. The cannibal can do nothing besides scream in frustration as we flee, or rather bump into every corner and low-hanging ceiling in these pitch-black corridors. He's waiting for us up here already somehow. Clearly he took the maintenance lift, considering he's not even slightly out of breath when he sprints into us. Stupid Waylon, climbing up the shaft like a monkey. As far as the cannibal segment goes, this is probably the trickiest he'll ever get.
Oh!
Sometimes wow, you really do just respawn here, don't you?
Oh my god, he's actually quite fast. Bro's got the nimble build with his no clothes. Bro's got the fast roll.
To my frustration, running out of the room at the end of this chase voids a collectible, and I didn't know that, so I sprinted to safety, or so I assumed, and then turned back around to find my opportunity to video a man at the lowest possible point in his life had been missed. Damn it. Oh, I think I've missed it. I think I've missed it. With a heavy heart, I started again. It was time to catch up. None the wiser, since Smooth actually knew to check that bathroom before bolting past the boundary that stupidly renders that collectible uncollectible, he led the charge into the final segment of the cannibal section. Rushing through the plastic-lined corridors of Mount Massive Asylum, the cannibal tried and quite pitifully failed to catch us here. This man couldn't catch a cold. He could have yoinked me like a kitten as I rushed past him here, and he didn't give a shit. Further yet, and we finally made it to the objective. A valve. I've never once bothered to understand why Waylon is fixing a gas leak here. Smooth says it's to make this decontamination chamber safe to pass through. Just another one of those arbitrary horror game objectives, but soon enough we're another trophy down and sprinting out into the foggy fresh air. Cue the shittiest jump scare in horror history. And we were off, barely able to see an inch in front of our faces. Right. I'm stuck. Right.
Oh! Oh, oh.
He looks nervous. I would like to...
The boys!
The labyrinth of the basketball courts snaked on ahead, featuring a brief encounter with the twins, our insidiously nude friends from the main game. Unfortunately, they're just as harmless here. The twins stand menacingly in a basketball court and won't attack you unless you get too close to them. Unfortunately, I counted one and then assumed I was safe. Ow! Personally, I don't know whether you need to sneak past them or if you could just walk on by, but I refused to take the chance. Refusing to miss an opportunity to engage in a bit of schoolyard bullying, the variants here squeal in our face and pull our trousers down in front of the rest of the class before they let us move on. Waylon is looking for a radio to call for help, assuming that all of these thousands of office phones are useless, and goes in the most logical direction. Up. Up seems promising at first. Unfortunately...
Naked people. The Wall Rider.
Looks like the staff didn't take too kindly to the mandatory out-of-hours office party Jeremy announced instead of annual raises. He's here too, waiting for us in the radio room. Jeremy has once again caught us in the process of whistleblowing. He's taking his football and he's going home. And when I say football, I mean radio. And when I say taking it and going home, I mean smashing it to bits while he laughs jeeringly at us for even trying. Save some forehead for the rest of us, Jez. His childish tantrum is interrupted by the arrival of special guest Chris Walker, who also decides to take his ball and go home. And when I say that, I mean he wants to rip our head off and add our corpse to the pile of bodies in the adjacent squash court. As siblings, our approaches could not be any more different.
You see me? Oh, he sees me. I thought I broke him then. Hello. No pigs.
So, this guy, remember him?
Coming. It's not even human anymore.
You can't say that. Luckily, Chris drags himself along this corridor like a dog with worms on the carpet, so we have plenty of time to reach the window and escape before he's even put his sketches on. Ah! Oh, jeez, there's a curtain. I guess we make our own fun. Our skip into the garden here marks the end of Chris Walker's interference in the whistleblower story, but we have a bit of life admin to take care of before we can continue to the grooms section. Such life admin involves turning off the power for the electric fence, an act that earns us a cheeky little trophy. Unfortunately, some cheeky little bugger is lying in wait to turn the power back on again, seconds away from cooking us alive through the electric fence. He's lying in wait behind us when we dip the power again, too, but besides a brisk slap on the arse, he doesn't pursue any extra justice.
Oh!
But as you can see, most of this part of the game is just walking. It's very okay.
Door. Looks kind of nice.
Oh, that's what I probably meant.
Therefore, I am not scared.
Ah! Forgot about that. One man's jump scare is another man's reassurance that scripted events means we're going in the right direction, I suppose. Waylon forgets we're not in a Mirror's Edge game and misjudges a fall so badly you think he was my cat. Waylon walks off a fall that would have shattered my spine like a Ritz biscuit and stumbles around in the dark looking for a way out this new predicament. Sorry to say, Waylon, but we are about to come toe-to-toe with a villain so heinous that the teenage girls of TikTok still spend their days making thirst traps about him. This journey leads us into the vocational block, a place full of books and sewing machines and all sorts of little enrichment activities available for the people of Mount Massive Asylum to spend their days tickling away with.
Oh! You twat.
Unfortunately, Eddie Gluskin's vocation is grievously mutilating his fellow man while dressed as a groom on his wedding day, and despite the fact that Mount Massive Asylum has fallen into chaos probably less than 4 hours ago, Eddie has had plenty of time to get a head start. He's aided here by Little Man, who comments that giving new people to Eddie means he doesn't come after them, which again means he has been doing some serious work since Whistleblower started. Out of the fire and into the frying pan. This chase segment leads us right into the heart of the vocational block. It sits cold and eerily silent, complete with this curious diorama.
I'm looking at it. Holy shit. Okay, I'm not looking at it anymore.
Anybody else suddenly in the mood for tacos? Eddie is lurking down here, but he waits for us to start panicking, like a house elf in a glue trap before he shows his face. Eddie jogs like a man who shit his pants, but he maintains a surprising speed. In fact, no matter how much distance you manage to build between yourself and your eerie spouse, Eddie will always find a way to close it to keep the stakes raised. He's absent for most of the chase because we've just left him behind, but as soon as we turn to push this crate, he's vaulting a table with weightless glee. This man is a leopard. Watching us fall down an elevator shaft before taking one for the team, Eddie takes rejection pretty well for a guy. Vowing to kill us, Eddie pursues us into the typically welcome embrace of a locker. Mistakes were made today. This is a long cutscene, by the way. Like, if you need a poo or have an errand to run, do it now. Eddie has some unusual ideas about finding wives. More specifically, he tries to carve them like marble out of the bodies of men, performing brutal castration operations before, like an artist with his tools, getting frustrated that he's not coloured inside the lines well enough. A quick saw blade to the face is Eddie's way of telling you that it's not working out and he'd like to see other people. Waylon is, unfortunately, other people. Standing to the side of our makeshift surgery table, Eddie tenderly explains the horrendous acts he's about to drop on our cock and balls. Thankfully, a bystander is just as grossed out by this as we are and takes matters into his own hands, saving Waylon's life and Outlast Whistleblower's age rating.
Oh god, who's that guy? Hero. Let's beat the shit out of him together. Oh my god. Oh!
Waylon is out now, limping for Jesus. Eddie, unfortunately, stands between him and the curtained window of freedom, but thankfully he's given up the ghost on running after us any longer. Instead, he walks with such speed you'd think he was on an airplane conveyor belt. We camp behind a little table in the midsection of the room until he hears our Tamagotchi beeping, at which point the hunt is on.
Oh my god, how's he not catching me? Actually,
Christ.
alright. Siege volume is not helpful. It makes it worse. Go. Oh, window. Objective curtain.
Ouch. Yeah, if it wasn't broken before, it probably is now. No time to call 111 though, as Waylon's desperate rush takes him into the gymnasium and the bizarre chapel setup beyond. What an unusual floor plan. This is like having lasagna with chocolate sauce. My original plan was to show chat my plan before taking the key and triggering Eddie to spawn, but he's nothing if not overzealous and he spawns anyway. My strategy is risky, requiring me to basically lure him as far into the chapel as I can, only to bolt out of the side door and use what lead I have to race to the vent to the other side of the gymnasium before he can catch me. And it works, at first. So this is where the game gets a little bit silly, because obviously I'm walking at about half a mile an hour. Oh dear. On the flip side of the coin, Smooth employs the heart palpitation strategy. That being, he uses strategy and I get heart palpitations. In his Eddie pursuit, he actually lures the big guy into another side room, then, at immense risk considering the needlepoint pathing on this lumbering ox, skirts him round a table. With what is probably a 2-second lead on this crazed surgeon, Smooth vaults the table and skims through the gymnasium. Incredibly, he pulls this off, so that's egg on my face, I guess. Birthed out of this vent like a heaving, screaming newborn, Waylon has only one more trial ahead of him, a QuickTime event. Eddie, known for his ardent teleportation if nothing else, meets Waylon at the security door, punching him square across the room. Sufficiently dazed, Waylon is strung up like a Christmas ham. Nothing a little wiggle input won't fix though. Eddie loses his grip on the aforementioned ham, skewering himself in his own quick journey up to the ceiling. And that's it. That's the last chance we have to die in Outlast Whistleblower. The remainder of the story involves a quick tour through all of the references to the main game as Waylon and Miles' journey finally, tragically align, a moment too late to help Miles. The church burns on the horizon, Traeger lies like roadkill at the foot of the elevator, and Waylon miraculously regains his ability to run. Could you not have done this the whole time, you crazed man? Jeremy meets us at the door to hand us our severance package, but the Wall Rider has a severance package of its own in mind.
Easy.
With one final bitter farewell at the front door, we fled, and with that, our first run, our collectible run, was done. Now for the insane run. I start it straight away over on my stream. If you were watching live, we actually completed the insane run of Outlast on that same day, meaning we were in for 2 insane runs in a single day. Still revved up on the adrenaline of that fateful insane run, I was bursting for this one. As you've no doubt noticed by now, Whistleblower is 50% cutscenes, 30% traversal, and like 20% action, compared to the main game, which I'd say was probably more like 15% cutscenes, 45% traversal, and 40% action. So this playthrough will probably run as longer than a playthrough of the main game, despite being significantly physically shorter. There are only a few moments of real risk ahead, and all of them lie within Eddie Gluskin's section, so let's get moving.
I'm excited, I'm nervous, I'm excited. I really want to get this done first try.
Do you have any batteries? Well, I'd love to stand around chatting absolute bollocks all day, sir, but we'd have a tightly packed corridor of scares to get through. Is he a doctor? I guess we'll never know.
What sword is this?
This guy pops ahead like it's nothing and then proudly stares at us, clearly thriving on that reaction. We don't reward bad behaviour with attention though, and walk off without giving him even a passing glance. Thankfully, they were nice enough here to make the keys glow, otherwise we'd probably be scrambling around a room full of stock assets all day. And counting down 3, 2, 1 to the jump scare that continued to get me every time I rewatched this to rewrite the script.
Can't be gambling on me like that.
I do love like challenge runs and speed runs. Damn it, I've used the fire frying pan line already. Yeah, we take one hit, apparently we just go. There we go. Oh, now I see why Wayland turns the gas off. I swear there are so many jump scares in this game that my brain just filters them out. It's impossible to disseminate any useful information off the back of a jump scare, it just rolls off me. Water off a duck's back.
Feed me! Feed me!
Yeah. And with that, the first third of the Whistleblower DLC is complete. Because I got him halfway up the chapel and I tried to run past him and he killed me. And he kills you in one hit, so... I can actually imagine how good the fresh night air would feel on Wayland's face right now. I bet our boy is feeling refreshed. One stupid jump scare later...
Bip.
And we transitioned into our second third of the game, the Chris Walker segment, or rather Chris Walker et al, since he's part of a somewhat entourage cast. It's very hot. Wow, drive-by much? I didn't know the blokes out here would randomly take issue with you. While this stood still, if we tried into the room...
It's been...
The screen, oh bless you. Once bitten, twice shy.
My letters on them. What, so you could...
Gooner, so it might be... And despite my plan for the Chris Walker chase being sit down behind a box and then quietly follow him up the corridor, I randomly grew balls of steel and went sprinting past him.
Hey man.
More chase sequences? Groundbreaking. With the prison segment complete, we were easily halfway done. Now for some light platforming and some light bullshit, and we were home free. I'm glad to see this young man finding a light in the dark right now. Can't be easy being a patient of Mount Massive.
I hope you're doing well today.
So now when we hit this, he'll appear behind us, he'll hit us once. It's impossible.
Brother, this is your fault. I forgot I even had that.
Yeah, I imagine if it glitched, you know. Oh no. Oh no. No, seriously. Out of the fire into... Oh shit, yeah, I've done this one. The way that I haven't planned to die for, you know? Like, I feel like we've done our practice, we've done our time. Me when I die to Eddie at the gym vent. Got him. That's it. Right. It's north to the Eddie chase, just turn left at the haunting Odes to Pregnancy piece and take a straight shot past the sewing machines. Thankfully, a few closed doors later, and Eddie's object permanence kicks in, so even on insane difficulty, he loses us like a kid with a balloon.
My brother's crazy.
1, 2.
Oh, go!
Yara she blows. Be that a poo break I see? Absolutely it is. Eddie wraps us up like a box of Valentine's chocolate and drags us off to the contraption, giving us a great opportunity for a quick biss and a walk to the shops.
Yes, beat him.
When one door closes, another door opens, eh, Waylon? Let's boo-boo.
Oh, Wayland, go. Wayland, go. Wayland, go. Wayland, go.
Run!
Think about this, think about this, think about this, think about this, think about this. Yes. Oh.
Almost there, folks. You know what's coming up. As if gyms aren't intimidating enough. Right, we're gonna let him get further up. Right, now we go. Lesson learned. I made sure to check Eddie was absolutely committed in that chapel. Although, to his credit, commitment isn't something this man necessarily struggles with. And then we bailed.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh! Oh my god, what?
Home stretch. I hope nothing awful happens. Okay.
Come on, Waylon, you chunky boy.
Wonderful. And with that, our only risk lies in the brittle architecture of this game. We staggered through the rest of Mount Massive, wondering if a pixel would shift in the wrong direction and we'd fall through the map into the back rooms, or a freeze would linger just a second too long and the game would crash.
I love how Waylon runs now, but not when he was being chased by Eddie.
Thankfully, Whistleblower held true. It's not really a jump scare, but yeah. Something about that line really gets me. Just the fact that he's like being thrown around and he's still got...
See you later, Mount Massive. Rest in peace.
As the sun crested over the opposite hills, Waylon pilfered this suspiciously abandoned vehicle and said his farewells, both to his stable 9-to-5, but also to Miles, who stared wistfully at him from the entrance to Mount Massive. How much is that doggy in the window, Murkoff?
There it is!
Bow, Whistler! And with that, Outlast 1 was conquered, DLC and all. Thank you to Holy for sponsoring today's video. As always, feedback on this new format is appreciated. Check out our Twitch channels in the link below, and comment any suggestions for future games to cover. Did you play Outlast Whistleblower? Did you like it? Make sure to subscribe for more.